Am I still drowning if I throw myself in the deep end and choose not to save myself again? Am I still unhappy if I make myself wake up early to be productive but only manage to work through my overflowing thoughts every morning? Am I still insecure if I post affirmations all over my mirrors and pretend they make a difference every day? Would you rather drown or burn to death? I'm way too indecisive for this game, but I've been there, done both. And next time I'm drowning, I won't try to lifeguard my life. I don't even know how to swim. I won't submerge my sadness so that no one sees me struggling to simply stay alive. I won't fake my happiness and then wonder why no one came to save me. Let's not call this self-sabotage, but next time I won't dismiss any helping hands. So would I rather drown in a fire or burn underwater? They are one and the same. Don't ask me again. Who would have known it was possible to drown on a good day, to be swallowed whole? When my friends who lifeguard my life are too far out of reach, I can't save myself this time. Last summer, I learned how to float for the first time. Just relax and breathe, and the water will carry you. But this tip is pointless when you're underneath the iceberg. Maybe the ocean knew my favorite color used to be blue. Maybe this is the moon's way of giving me a warm embrace, but I would have preferred playtime with low tides. In 2019, I was in Delaware at a beach with my aunt, uncle, cousin, and 2 siblings. That summer day, I knew what it felt like to drown. Okay, we just gonna get straight to it. I was drowning. I was in the water with my cousin and 2 siblings, Pharaoh and Jevin. And you know, I'm the oldest, but I'm the smallest. I'm the shortest. So they head back to the beach or whatever, and the shore, and these big waves are coming, and like, you know, I'm the kid, y'all gotta watch out for me, y'all gotta make sure I walk first, you know, y'all are a little bigger, may have seen the waves coming, I didn't. So they're taking me over, and I feel like I'm being pulled back. I feel like I'm dying. My eyes are closed. I can't really open my mouth because I'm underwater. I can't jump the wave. It already took me over, and a bigger one comes. I feel like I'm being pulled. I'm dying. But as crazy as that was, I really felt like I was dying. The whole time I'm flipping across the beach looking like a dummy. So it's actually a funny story now, like, for the people who were there and everything, but it was not funny in the moment. That was not a good day for me, and everything afterwards was not good. But I'm not going to tell the full story, but yeah, my sister and a stranger actually helped me up when I was done flipping. But when I was drowning, like, I guess it was only like a few seconds. I think they said it was only like 15 seconds. I don't remember. But to me, it felt like way longer than that, and it was scary. Ever since that time, when I was writing more this last year in 2021, started writing more poetry and everything, I would always use drowning as a metaphor for how I feel. So that's why you hear that a lot. Well, and you're also probably wondering why I even began this empowering journaling video with some crazy, dark, some would say, poems about poetry. And by the end, I'm sure you'll know why. All right, you guys, you know, I have my notes because, you know, I get off track and I run my mouth about this, that, whatever. But yeah, my journaling journey began on January 1st, 2020. Now, I don't really think I planned it. I just remember coming home I was on my way home from Pittsburgh, January 1st. And I remember coming home and just opening this small little notebook I have and just writing about what was going on, because I had really good news about something that was going on in my life. And I wanted to capture that and like hold that in the moment, but also I told myself that like I was just gonna keep journaling. So that was really the beginning of my journaling journey. I didn't even like, I don't even know what this is, just this tiny small notebook that I never wrote in. So I don't know. I never called it my diary. I just call them my journals. And I realized before I started this video, I thought I was on journal number 4. It's 2 years later now, a little over 2 years later of my journaling journey, and I'm on journal number 5. So I would like to show you guys. Oh yeah, by the way, if you see a piece of my hair sticking up, no you don't. No you don't.
Alright. This is journal number 1, journal number 2, journal number 3, journal number 4. And I'm currently on journal number 5, don't mind the notebook on the inside.
Journaling is really something I highly recommend to anyone. Everyone. Because it has helped me so much. Who would have known writing down how you're feeling will be so relieving? And honestly, sometimes I think about how I wish I would have started journaling earlier than I did. But then again, based on how 2019 went for me, I probably would have ripped it all up and that would have been gone. But it's important to, well, I would suggest writing in the moment. And that's something I really did when I first started journaling. I'm feeling something, I'm picking up that notebook and I'm putting it all in there. I used to always be one to put how I'm feeling in my notes, but after a certain point, that doesn't do anything for me. It's something about the pen and the paper. It is just something about it. Just writing that out is different. You know, we're so used to our electronics and phones, but this is raw. The pen and paper, it's raw. And writing in the moment really makes a difference because it's easy for your thoughts and emotions and how you think you feel to get jumbled up in your mind. But once you put that on paper, oh, you're gonna know exactly how you feel. It ain't jumbled up no more. There's been so many times where I thought I felt a certain way or thought, yeah, I really did think I felt a certain way. I write it out. I read that over. I don't always read my entries over. I rarely do. But I remember a specific time I read it over and I was like, whoa, wait, that's how I felt? And when I first started journaling, I would do it often. Like, I think I did it like almost every day, honestly. Almost every day I was looking through it to check the entries. And I don't do the Dear Diary, Dear Journal. I just put the date, the day of the week, the exact time I start writing, and I start going. Just writing whatever's going on with me, whatever I want to put in there, whatever I want to hold on to, right? I would say I don't journal as much now, but just compared to how much I really did at the beginning of my journey. And I used to actually get upset with myself for not writing when I would go a while without writing and just kind of put some pressure on myself. But that's okay. You won't always have something to write about. Even if you do, you don't always have to write about it. That's up to you. So be easy on yourself, because I wasn't too easy on myself when I started. Something I realized was sometimes when I'm writing, I'm so detailed, right? And like, if I'm telling somebody a story, I will not leave any details out, right? If you heard me tell a story before, you would know that. Like, I will even backtrack because you have to know everything that happened, right? That's exactly how I am when I'm writing. And sometimes that takes away from the actual feelings and the emotions because I'm so focused on adding this detail. This is you know what I mean? But I came to a point where I was like, why do I do that? Am I writing to somebody? Like, in the back of my mind, like, is there a reasoning for this? Who am I writing to? And I realized that, like, I think like last year. And I actually had an epiphany in November, I believe it was. And this is from journal number 4. This is, I would like to share something with you guys. Anyways, while I was just writing, I was once again thinking about how I literally write with so much detail, even unnecessary detail, some would say, as if I just know that someone will be reading this over and will need those details I never leave out. And it hit me. That someone is me. I'm gonna be reading over each one. I'm gonna be reading over each of my journals one day, looking back, reflecting. And I've always been one to include every little bittle, I don't know why I said that, every little bittle piece of detail when I tell people stories, and even turn what could have been a 5-minute story into a 30 plus minute story because of that. And subconsciously, I'm using the correct word, right? I know that I would be needing all of these details when I look back one day. How am I just now realizing that? Yeah, that was at the end of November. And as crazy as that may sound, like, how does she not know she's writing to herself? It just never, because I'm just I'm just opening my journal, just writing, right? But I was like, why do I include so much detail? And when I die, like, y'all can burn these. Y'all don't gotta go through these. That's embarrassing. Then again, I'm gone. I think it was around that same time. It was November or early December when I decided to look back in my journals and just read over some entries, just reflect. And I just started with the first one, journal number 1, and I didn't even get far. I think I got like 10 pages in max, but I was already like really emotional at the time when I opened this up, and I just started bawling. I just started crying. And it just makes me think about how, like, there's so many times, just like this is also the importance of journaling. Like, you forget how you felt in the moment. It's easy to be like, oh yeah, I remember January 2020, I was going through it, I was sad. But actually reading how you felt, that's like a whole nother level. It's like watching a movie, right? But it's one thing if you're watching a movie and you're the crier, right? That's me. You're the crier, because you just feel it, right? But knowing that was you, like, you actually feel it. You kind of feel it over again just a little bit, but you also kind of feel bad for that version of you. I feel like every time I look back at a certain version of me or an old version of me, and just like, even if it's a few months ago, because I'm always growing and changing and evolving, right? And I feel like there were like maybe 3 different versions of myself throughout 2021. And even looking back to who I was in last March, right? I kind of feel bad, and it's like, whoa. And is it possible to grieve an old version of yourself? Because I feel like that's what I'm doing. Or maybe it's just pity. I don't know, but it's something about the reflections. That's also the thing with journaling, the reflecting. Although one of the greatest outlets for me is journaling, it doesn't solve everything. Sometimes when I write, it takes a weight off my shoulders, and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes nothing changes too much, but that's like a personal thing. I know what I got to do to feel better. I know what steps I got to take to help myself get over something or deal with something that I may have been feeling. Excuse the background noise if you hear anything. But that's between you and yourself. If the journaling isn't that big of a help for you. And I feel like for me, last year specifically, when I'm journaling and nothing's really helping, or this, that, whatever, an important thing for me last year would have been having a support system. I do have a support system, but actually reaching out to them. I swear to God, I'm not crying. Reaching out to them. I'm very, very prideful, especially when it comes to my emotions. Like, you would think I'm just a hard rock because you don't want people to like see that you can be weak, even though that's normal. But you also, like, people would be willing to help you, but you don't want to be a burden. So I guess that's like something I gotta work on, just seeing seeing myself reaching out for help as being a burden on them. Because like sometimes you want to ask for help and maybe they don't think you'd be a burden, but maybe you really are because they don't have emotional boundaries and take on it's different things. Like it's very broad, and there's so many layers to it. But I caught myself last year realizing, I think at the beginning of last year, I realized that I got in the habit of writing a whole lot of negative things. And I mean, that's what journaling's for, right? Whatever is you feel will help. And I guess most of the negative things, it's like, well, I can deal with the positive things by doing this, by doing that. I feel good about it. But with the negative things, I'm gonna need my journal, right? I'm gonna need to write that down. So I was bothered by the fact that I wrote so many negative things. That bothered me. And honestly, focusing so much on the negative took away from how much greatness I had and how much goodness there was in my life. But still, that's still important for me, like, to get that out, all the negative, whatever it is, write it out. I gotta be honest, there were a lot of good things that happened last year that I wish I would have written down. I feel like it's when the most things are going on, negative or positive, that I'm away from my journal. Certain things, it's like, okay, it's so much, I don't want to put that down. I'm gonna be more frustrated if I put that on paper. I don't want to see that written, right? But when I wasn't journaling last year, something new that I was doing was taking out my phone and recording myself and just purging, and just saying whatever I gotta say. And that's raw. That's also very helpful, because for me to get over something, I gotta talk about it over and over and over and over and over again. Sometimes it's talking to yourself about it, so taking out the camera, recording, saying what I gotta say, and even looking back at that, it's like, wow. It's one thing to think about how you feel and read over how you felt, but to hear your voice, to see your own eyes, to see yourself and how you felt, that's another level. With the comparison to drowning, journaling keeps me afloat. I might be sinking, right? But something about writing it out, you're gonna come back to the surface. And now that we're closing this out, I would like to share something from my 16+ page journal entry from December 31st, when I was reflecting on the whole year. I would like to share something from that entry and then close out with a poem. I am no longer leaving myself hanging. If I genuinely need or want help from now on, I'm going to put my pride aside and ask or reach out for help. I'm not going to pretend I know how to swim when I'm drowning. I'm not going to be strong and hold it all together when I want to fall apart. I never agreed with or understood fake it till you make it, but I've done a whole lot of faking it this year, but not anymore. I'm so done with effing pretending, bro. I'm so done with effing pretending, bro. That's self-harm and disrespecting myself. I know how to swim, by the way, but for the metaphor, for the poems, I'm an okay swimmer. Here's the poem, and then, okay. Thank you for watching, by the way. Thank you for making it to the end. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for the love. It doesn't go, what's the saying? It doesn't go by me slightly. I don't know. It means a lot, like genuinely. The rain, wind, and I have an unspoken pact to always show up and on time. They have to come passing through when I need a fresh start. And I have to stand outside, soaking up every raindrop and breathing in the breeze as it passes through me. This is meditation. The wind's tune dancing through the leaves of every tree only adds to this experience. For a minute, I didn't think they'd keep their word, but today they had an early arrival and have yet to say farewell. All good things are better when they are unexpected. The rain, wind, and I want nothing more than to be seen and felt, so we do just that.